let's start right back where we started with top placed Liverpool. They've got a new manager in Arne Slot this season, coming over from the Dutch league, coming over from Feyenoord, where he won the Dutch title last season. And a lot of fans thought it was going to take a fair amount of time for Slot to not only get acclimated to life in England and particularly the physical play style of English football, but he's going to have to learn how to gel with these players and how to develop tactics that don't necessarily completely rely on the systems that his predecessor Jurgen Klopp has built over the past decade. At least that's what fans were saying at the beginning of the season. As we look at them now, as they sit with 29 games played currently in the domestic league, they've got a 15-point lead at the top of the table. I mean, it's been nothing short of miraculous for Arne Slot this season. The way that he's been able to come in and demand the respect of players. And yes, he is still relying heavily on the system and the house that Klopp built. But as we take a deeper look into the particular way that Slot has set up this team, there's a lot of carryover from what we've seen during the Klopp days. A lot of these signings are still Klopp signings. You've got guys like Ibrahima Konate, the center back pairing between him and Van Dijk. These are both guys that Klopp brought in and have stayed with the club for multiple years. Of course, you've got Mohamed Salah, who looks to be leading the Ballon d'Or race, perhaps contested with Rafinha right now, but Salah looks to be in pretty decent form. He's also chasing the all-time goals and assists combined record in a Premier League season. Be on the lookout for that as well. But these are guys that Klopp has brought in. Luis Diaz, to mention another big name. These are guys that Klopp brought in and has built them up over the past few years, whether it's a guy like Salah who's been there for 7 or 8 years, or a guy like Luis Diaz who has come in and contributed in a shorter time span of 2 to 3 years. Regardless, we saw over the past couple of years how Klopp was able to maximize the talent that he brought in on the roster and get them playing to their fullest potential. You know, they won a Champions League under Klopp. They won a Premier League under Klopp. They finished second countless times. I mean, they were the true rival to City's dominance these past 5 years. They really are. They really are. And to see Arne Slot come in and just not miss a beat with this Liverpool side, it's been seamless. The transition has been seamless. They're playing bright, energetic, intelligent styles of football. They like to hold the ball, use possession to their advantage to generate the maximum amount of chances. And as we move through these games, as we take a look, they really haven't let the opponent into the game by way of having the ball, right? We all know that the best, most dependable way to score is to simply possess the ball. You're more likely to generate chances. You're more likely to get guys in the box. You're more likely to see forward runs. And just generally, good things come when you're sharing the possession, when you have the majority of the ball, and you're able to dictate the tempo, the flow of the game, particularly in the midfield, and the style with which you want to attack. And we look at these players, like I said, a lot of these guys have been around for at least 2 to 3 years, at most, 9 or 10 years at this point. They know the system. Slot's been reliant on a Klopp system from the past that seems to have worked. Obviously, Slot has come in and brought his own little tweaks and quirks with the tactics and with the way in which that he has set this Liverpool side up this season. And by and large, it's working. There's been a couple of blemishes. Nobody's perfect. They lost at home to Nottingham Forest. Villa recently held them tough. They couldn't break down Villa and get a win. That game finished in a 2-2 draw. But they've been perfect in the Champions League this year. They've been almost perfect in the league. As we look at Liverpool's stats this year, 21 wins in the Premier League this season, followed up with 7 draws and only 1 loss, that coming, like I said, at home to Nottingham Forest. And that was all the way back in October when that last loss took place. Liverpool are high flying right now, and it's going to be a tough challenge for anyone to come up against them. Arsenal, you've got to say, really the only contender, if you even want to call it that, to Liverpool's dominance this season. Are you ready for the most thrilling news, action, and opinions in sports? Buckle your seatbelts. It's time for Straight to It Sports with Corey Coy.